Hey everyone, RJ here with CV Tech, and today I am going to look at the Boost Mobile version of the LG Stylo 4, giving you my thoughts on it, going through some of the features and all that kind of good stuff. So let's go ahead and get in with this video. Okay everyone, so the LG Stylo 4 here on Boost Mobile. So looking at some price tags, $129 at Walmart for this device. To the best of my knowledge, Boost Mobile will be selling this phone for a whopping $199.99, which is honestly ridiculous. Metro PCS retail price is around $179, and the Cricket version is selling for $229.99. Or you can go to Amazon or maybe even Best Buy and buy the fully unlocked version for $300, which to me is a total joke. But it is what it is. So first thing that I want to look at right now is the build. I may have to cut on my flash to kind of show y'all around the phone a little bit, because it is kind of dark in here. So on the left side here, you do have your spaced volume rocker there, really nice. On top, you have a secondary mic as well as your antenna bands. Now on the bottom, you have your USB Type-C charging cable, microphone, 3.5mm headset jack, speaker, and stylus. Now on the right side here, of course, is your power button. On the back here is your camera, your flash, your fingerprint sensor, and your LG branding down here. So honestly, first of all, looking at it here, the build quality does seem to look very premium. If you look at it, it feels good in the hand. It is a rather tall phone at 6.2 inches for the display, 6.2 inch Full HD Plus display and everything here. So the phone does feel and look really nice, but once you really get into this phone and it feels hollow. It feels hollow and cheap, and it just don't feel very premium. It looks premium, and by looking at it when it's really nice and shiny, it looks like a really premium device. Now, the Boost Mobile version, I've heard a lot of slack about it, saying, well, it does not have the NFC, it don't have fast charging. I actually the other day did hook up a fast charger to the Stylo 4 just to see if it would actually fast charge, but it didn't, so it does just have normal standard charging. So the second thing I want to get into this phone right here is just, how the screen is, how the screen looks. Now the phone does have a full 1080p plus 18:9 ratio at 2160 by 1080, and the display looks really good. I will say that the display is very crisp, very clear, very clean. I got your app drawer here. I do have the Nova launcher on here, and overall, this phone does feel smooth. I mean, it's got a really nice smooth feel to it. Now, it does run the MediaTek processor, unlike the other versions that run Snapdragon. But honestly, I believe that the MediaTek processor in this device here is kind of equivalent to the Snapdragon processor that are in the other variants. So, the overall look at the phone here, the phone does seem to be very smooth. It's not as fast as some of the other phones are, but it does seem to work and work very well. Now here at the drop down, you have a bunch of features here like Capture Plus, your Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, DTS:X 3D Surround, flashlight, battery safe extended. Scroll over here, you'll see your comfort view, do not disturb, data saver. You can edit all of those as well. So we'll go ahead and go into the settings here for a little bit and just see what we have going on in here. So I did go over a lot of this here in the unboxing, so be sure to check out the unboxing of this phone. But you got network and internet. Now there is no NFC here on this device. It is just pretty much your basic phone with a really nice display. But that's about where it ends. I mean, you have 2 gigabytes of RAM and a bunch of stuff here in the set, like extensions for smart cleaning. You can go up there and smart clean, do gaming, shortcut keys, your pen, knock on, knock off features, stuff of that nature. We can scroll down here to system and go to about phone here, and you'll see that we are running 8.1.0 Oreo with July 1st 2018 security patch. So it's really nice to see that here on this device. But the phone does feel smooth. I mean, it's not as snappy as I figured it would be, but it does work and it does do really well. Now, I have played some games on it. I have tried to power use it a little bit, and it does seem to work. And yes, it does only have 2 gigabytes of RAM instead of the 3 gigabytes of RAM in the unlocked version or in the Cricket version. But you know, it is what it is. So the phone does feel very snappy. Now, thirdly, what I want to get into right here is the specs. So going into here and looking at CPU-Z, and we will look at some of the specs here. Now, you will see that this phone does run the 1.5 gigahertz MediaTek MT6750. Now, scrolling over here, it does say MT6755. So it's running one of the two. I really don't know, but it does. It is an octa-core processor with a Mali T860 GPU with 1080 by 2160 with a 6.2-inch display, 2 gigabytes of RAM, and 32 gigabytes of storage. Now, I want to say the storage, you do get 32 supposedly, but when you get it all set up, you get around 18 gigs free. That's kind of sad that almost half of the storage is used up by the system storage. And I've said this many times, and I'll say it again, that if a phone comes out and it says, you know, 32 gigabytes of internal storage, but once you pull it out of the box and you got almost half of what the box is showing, that's really misleading. You know, in my opinion, they ought to add enough storage into the phone to take care of at least the majority of the system apps, the system, you know, everything in the system, to where you get at least 29 to 30 gigabytes free once you get it all set up and ready to go, instead of only having 18 gigabytes free. You know, that's kind of misinformation and deceitful in my personal opinion. But the specs, like I said, is a MediaTek MT6750, but it does seem to run very well and very smooth. I have played some high intense graphic games, and it does seem to hold its own pretty well without very many issues. Now, going in here into lock screen and security, you do have your screen lock, which is pattern and fingerprints. There is no facial recognition on the Stylo 4 on Boost Mobile. Just a fingerprint scanner. You have your swipe, pattern, pin, password, stuff of that nature. So there is no facial recognition on this Stylo 4 here on Boost Mobile. Now, if you're coming from a Boost Mobile Stylo 3, and you got a Stylo 3 from Boost Mobile and you really enjoy it, I honestly cannot recommend upgrading to the Stylo 4. I just can't. To best of my knowledge, the Stylo 3 runs the octa-core 435 Snapdragon with the same RAM, and best of my knowledge, the same camera resolution and megapixels. You're not really getting a whole lot different here, except for the 18:9 ratio, 6.2-inch display. You're just not really getting a whole lot more from the Stylo 3. So if you got a Stylo 3 and you're happy with it, I really can't recommend upgrading to this unless you do not have a Stylo and you want to buy this phone for $129 at Walmart. Then this is a good pickup. Now, what I want to do right now is go into the camera and just kind of browse around here for just a few minutes. I'm not going to spend much time here. Now, I do have my iPhone SE right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take just a quick picture here on the Stylo 4. So go ahead and zoom in here on the iPhone, and it seemed to having some focus problems there. Take a picture. There we go. And looking at it here and zooming in, it does look okay. Of course, I'm under, you know, lower light and stuff like that, but the picture does come out pretty good. I do have a camera test that I will be doing on this phone, so stay tuned for that. Now let's go ahead right now and take a quick look at the stylus pen. And I've always kind of liked this little stylus pen. I've always kind of liked this here. Now, looking up here, you will see you have some options like Pop Memo, Capture Plus, Gift Capture, and Pop Lens. So I'm going to go ahead right now and just press on Pop Memo. And you will see where I've already been drawing a little bit there. So and clearing everything off there. So let's go ahead and write down, LG, Stylo 4, there you go. I do like it for that feature. It's really awesome to use. I used to use this here on the Stylo 3 for like drawing a lot, making a lot of, really kind of cool stuff. It's just really awesome to use. And I do like that about the stylus pen. So you can use a stylus pen for a lot of stuff. So it's really kind of cool to have that. So looking at that and everything, what are the pros and the cons, in my opinion, of the LG Stylo 4? It is $129.99 at Walmart. It's going to be $199 at Boost Mobile. But if you have an LG Stylo 3 and it's working very well, I really have a hard time recommending the Stylo 4 on Boost Mobile. They're just not that much of an update. You got the 6.2 inch Full HD Plus display, which looks really good. You got a bottom firing speaker that honestly, I was hoping would be a whole lot better, but honestly, it just does not sound very good at all. But to be honest with you, if you've never had a Stylo before or got a really old Stylo, then this would be a very good upgrade here for $129. But it is slick, so you will need a case for it, as you see right there. So honestly, the pros of the phone is the way it feels. The screen quality is really good, and it just works. It's a very solid device, and it does seem to work very well with very little hiccup. Whatever, it can play games pretty well. And it's just a good overall phone. And for the price point, even though it does not have NFC, it does not have fast charging, $129 at Walmart is a really good deal. Now the cons would be the fact that there is just nothing really new. I mean, other than the bigger display, there is just nothing new. I like the Stylo 3, the position of the stylus pen right here on the side, where you can just kind of like, pop it out, and there it was. It kind of sit really flush with the phone. I did like that about it. But the cons of the phone is the fact that it just feels cheap. It does have a really, fancy look to it, really high quality build. But once you use it, you can just tell it just feels hollow. It feels cheap, and it scratches really easily. And so you will definitely need a case for it. The phone feels very big in the hand. If you got big hands, not really much of a problem with, for you. Battery life seems to be very good. It's non-removable, so that's kind of a con, because the Stylo 3 was removable with a removable back, so that was really nice as well. And so there you go. That's just a look, overall look here of the LG Stylo 4. Is this phone a really good buy, or is it a phone to skip? I mean, that's really not up to me. That's pretty much just, my opinion of this phone here. It's a good phone. It works very well, but is it really worth picking up, especially if you already have a Stylo device? So I know this was a very, very scattered look here at the LG Stylo 4. Is it a good phone? Yes. Is it worth the price that they're charging for it? I would say that Walmart for $129, it is a good buy. My recommendation is I can't give one, cause it is a good phone, but to some it might seem like a step backwards. But I gave you my opinion. So if this was helpful and informative in any way, hit that like button. Any questions you may have, leave it below. Subscribe if you haven't. I'd really appreciate it. Y'all have a good one, and thanks for watching.